Party-backed candidate who just won Nebraska's GOP Senate primary this week. Joining me right now for his first cable news interview since claiming victory is Ben Sasse. Congratulations, Ben. And I know everything must be in a whirlwind right now. But before we talk about his candidacy and chances of keeping that Senate seat Republican, I want to talk to you first about these new emails that have come to light, thanks to the Freedom of Information Watch and Judicial Watch, I should say, that show a connection between Washington, Cincinnati, and the IRS targeting of Tea Party groups. Your reaction?
You know, there's a pattern with this administration. You try to obfuscate and deny and delay, and then by the time there's information that comes out, they say it's old news, and it's really troubling. We need more aggressive congressional oversight, and this administration needs to stop trying to write law, and just they're out of control.
I mean, it really took high-profile Tea Party-type candidates like Sarah Palin, Ted Cruz, and others to help you out. But other people didn't have the benefit, weren't the beneficiary of the Tea Party and how they've organized. That election's now in our rearview mirror. Do you think it's time for us to move on or drill down?
You know, what I find in Nebraska is that the folks here, they believe that the center of life is in Nebraska, not in Washington, D.C. And what Tea Party means to most of the folks across our state is they want more urgency out of Washington about the bigger things and staying out of the vast majority of life. So I think when you talk to people across the 93 counties in Nebraska, what they're looking for is a lot more serious return to constitutional principles, which is just the American idea that life is fundamentally lived in the private sector. I think that idea is a winning idea all across the electorate.
So, Ben, you're a guy that just collected 49% of the vote in your district, so you're looking to fill that Republican seat that's being vacated right now. But in the big picture, you're a guy that fixes things, starting from your old university on down. You think you could do that same thing with Washington?
You know, I think the people of America, when they're set free to build great things, they do it. And we can fix big things in this country, but not if you try to centrally plan life. You look at Obamacare trying to centrally plan 18% of GDP. It's not working. The people know it isn't going to work. You need to re-empower doctors and patients and the local community. And I think that's true in sector after sector in America. So we need to free up the American people to be fixing things by having Washington, D.C. stop meddling in every area of life.
Do you think Ted Cruz and company and Senator Lee are coming out and saying it's good, we hope Ben gets in because we need some help in there? Do you find yourself much different than the so-called mainstream Republican?
You know, I'm not always sure what mainstream Republican means. So many of these labels seem like they're driven by national liberal media whose favorite topic is Republicans fighting Republicans. In the election that we just had Tuesday night, we had 5 good candidates running on the Republican side. But what ultimately happened in our election was people rallied around the idea of America. And I think that, you know, if mainstream Republican means you're satisfied with the way Washington works right now, then the people in Nebraska, we don't believe in that. We don't think, I'm a very conservative guy, but we don't think the problem in Washington is just that the Democrats are in charge. We think that it's too many Republicans want Washington to be, D.C. to be in charge, and we want Nebraska to be in charge, and we want our neighbors in the South and Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas to want their states and their communities to be in charge. So I think we can bridge a lot of these Republican divides, and we can move forward building a bigger future, but not if you think that Washington ruling the country is in our interest, because we don't believe that.
And Ben, when you look at the Tea Party today and the fact that you are the so-called Tea Party candidate who won convincingly the nomination, what do you think that says about the health of the Tea Party that so many want to write off?
You know, in our case, in our campaign, what we were trying to do is say we wanted more of everybody. We wanted more pro-lifers and more Second Amendment folks and more Tea Partiers or constitutional conservatives and more small business people. But what most Tea Party people want to talk about is a constitutional recovery. And I really believe that that's a winning message across the whole Republican Party and across the middle of the electorate as well. So I want to celebrate the Tea Party ideals of constitutional conservatism, but let's talk about what it means and what we're for, not just what we're against. And when you talk to Nebraskans all across this state, that's what they want. They want to hear what we're for.
I don't think a Ben Nelson, Nebraska compromise is on your agenda, but let's see if you get the seat. Dave Domina will be your opponent on the Democratic side. It's game on. Congratulations, Ben Sasse, on your victory on Tuesday.
Thanks a lot. Welcome to Nebraska. We're glad you were here.
All right.